Oh, hey, didn't see you there. How are you? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, all you Dreadites, to another exciting edition of Drunk and Dread. It is Saturday night. We are here at McCoy Manor at the Plaster Dragon, little subsect. So thank you guys so much for coming. Where everything is under control, and we are not in any way chaotic, and John is totally wearing two socks, and we haven't even started drinking properly yet.
Everything's on fire, and it's fine.
Everything's on fire, and it's fine. Thank you guys so much. Please be sure to give us a little like or a follow up in the little corner right there. Click on that little heart. It would help us out a lot. You can also follow us on Discord and join in on the conversation. Firehawk, thank you for noticing the shirt. Thank you all so much for all of the support that you give here to the Plaster Dragon. We cannot thank you enough. Keep telling your friends. Keep tuning into all the shows. The next show here at the Plaster Dragon is Chosen Family, right? This Monday, 6:30. Some going to be some fun stuff coming around the corner. I'm Ronnie and Rosie. We finally get to figure out what's going on with that conversation. So it'll be an episode you do not want to miss. And I think that about does it for announcements. Let's talk about tonight's edition of Drunk and Dread. I'm very excited about tonight's game of Drunk and Dread. We're going to be tackling a subject or a horror story that I grew up loving, and it was actually the very first scary story that I ever read for myself, and it was a Stephen King story. It was called Silver Bullet. Did anybody ever read or watch the movie Silver Bullet? No? It was a cool story, but we're diving into werewolves.
You get it now?
Yeah. Oh, God. As always here during a game of Drunk and Dread, while we are telling a horror story and we're pulling Jenga bricks in order for our characters to do certain actions, there are ways for you, the audience, to mess with our players in the form of bits. As always, we will be posting how you can do that. You can see the screen down there below. For 200 bits, you can give a player a power-up and push a challenge to another player. For 300, it's an instant obstacle for a player. They cannot drink. I'm looking at you, John. For 500...
Oh, please. I have no problem pulling.
It's true. You are the chosen one. For 500, it is a DM challenge, a challenge that I have come up with and arranged with the players. And for 1,000, it is a blindfolded pull with one person giving suggestions. We will make sure that happens. And for 1,500, it is a showdown. 2 players, 4 pulls each. Head-to-head combat. Somebody's been dying every time we did that. Yeah. I think with the exception of like once, like where it was you and frickin' Eric, and it was defying all odds. Or was it you two?
Audie and I.
Audie,
both
that's
through that one.
And then the one before too.
So those are the fun ways that you can mess with our players. The DM challenge for this evening. We're going back to another edition. I really want to deal with the sense of chilling coldness of being alone. And so we're playing with something tonight where we're going back to sort of the icy feeling that you feel when that feeling of fear takes over you. Oh, no. So our players tonight for the DM challenge are going to soak their non-dominant hand in ice water for 30 seconds and then make... John. And then...
I'm left-handed.
All right. And then make a pull using that hand that has been soaking in ice for 30 seconds. And so that is going to be our DM challenge, and I encourage all of you to give each and every one of them a DM challenge this evening. Speaking of each and every one of them, some of these faces look very familiar, but we have a newbie here in our midst as well. Why don't we go around and talk a little bit about our characters? Let's start at the end over there.
So should we say what our assignments were? Like what our...
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Hold on.
Let's not get into the specifics of these.
Yeah, no, let's not get specific.
The 4 of these characters are going to be college students, okay? And you all go to the same college, and you're actually going, and we're playing with the trope of you all have a bit of a spring break or a bit of a vacation from school, so you're doing the archetypical thing that all college students do. You go to a cabin abandoned in the woods, for a small amount of time.
There's a musical about that, I think.
1, 2, 3, not it. Okay, so it's your family's cabin. It's your family's cabin. I asked the 4 of my players tonight to come up with a character that maybe accents a certain part that it's unlikable. I feel like all 4 of you are very likable people, so I want you to stretch.
You're wrong.
I want you to stretch and be something a little more unlikable. We're going to play around with accenting certain character attributes. So, yeah, let's start at the end.
Well, my character's name is Chelsea, and she is at college, but not because she's like really, really good at college or something, because she had to go. But she's really there to party because that's fun. And beer's fun, and people are fun too. There's classes. Sometimes she goes. Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate her already. And then our newbie, Chris. Welcome to the show, pal. Say hi, Chris. Welcome.
Hi,
tell us about who you're.
Chris.
Hi, Chris. Who are you playing this evening?
So I'm playing a character named Anthony. And he is just...
Who's Anthony?
He is just obnoxious and super combative and argumentative about absolutely everything. He went to college pretty much because his dad made him, but since he's there, he might as well have some fun with it, but it's more just to prove people wrong, not to actually learn things.
Okay.
So...
This is good. I've met this dude before. This is great.
Many of them have, sure.
Hillary.
Yeah. So my character's name is Jessica. She is your typical, just disgustingly perfect girl. She is a dancer. She wants to aspire to be on Broadway and has to do everything correctly and is kind to everybody. So that could be obnoxious.
Super perfect at everything.
Bing.
John, dare I say, who are you playing this evening?
You're walking a very dangerous line here.
I know you're walking a dangerous line.
Well, actually, the odds of him watching are so very little. Anyway, so my character is Scott. Basically, like, it's tough. It is tough. Yeah.
We'll just say Scott. You're playing Scott tonight.
I'm playing Scott.
You're playing Scott tonight. So the 4 of you are college students, and you're actually headed out to this cabin in the woods. Your friend Jess has this cabin, like her family's kind of loaded, and she's never had to ask for anything in the world. So Jess has invited all 4 of you to go to this cabin in the woods, and you're actually driving down the road. But that's not where we're going to start our story. We're going to start our story with blood. And all 4 of you, I want you to picture this. You're in a field. You're seeing the sun sort of rise on the horizon. And you're beaten, you're battered, you're broken. But you're alive. And some of your friends are not. Because for the first time in Drunken Dread history, we're going to try something a little different. If I'm doing my job correctly as storyteller, by the end of the night, I want to assure that one of you makes it out of this alive, and the other 3 don't. And your hope is to be that person that is laying in the field next to your cabin in the woods, broken, battered, bloodied, but still alive.
Place your bets.
Place your bets. So let's start this off like we start every episode of Dread with a little toast. Everybody wants to grab a drink. Here you go.
Again.
Here's to all the stories from now until we're dead. Here's to you. Here's to me. And to all of you, here's Dread.
Clink, clinks.
Support the table. Clink,
There,
clink.
we're going to pretend.
To the big girl.
God, it's so good.
Oh, there's a lot of shots in that.
Just when it touches your lips, it's just so good.
It's so good when it touches the lips.
Touches your lips.
God, I love you. You 4 are driving in the car. Who's driving the car?
I'll drive.
You are driving the car down this sort of dirty, sort of road. You've left the main drag several hours ago. So much so that you're probably 2 steps away from the main drag. It's gone from sort of like a broken sort of pavement road to sort of a dirt road to sort of like you're having trouble finding where a road used to be. The only thing that's helping is that you've been here several hundred times before, and you and your family, and it's a really nice cabin, and you've assured everybody that you're hoping it's still there, but right before you get to the cabin, there is usually a convenience store. Okay, and there's this little, like, it's one of these towns where, like, the convenience store happens to be the social nexus of everybody who happens to live in the backwater town. I mean, they've got, like, food. They have, I'll even go so far as to say they rent videos. Not DVDs. Videos.
Yes.
We're in West Virginia, but we're in like the deeper country of West Virginia, okay? And we'll say that it's starting to get cold. So we'll say it's around like October, somewhere thereabouts. So you guys pull up in the car to this little convenience store, and all 4 of you can get out, but you are pulled up to this convenience store. I will say there's one other car in the parking lot with you guys, and it is a busted up ride. You'd be surprised if this thing was able to take off out of the parking lot. There's a truck, it's all beat to hell, and this is your last chance to get supplies. So let's do that. So let's get some supplies.
So I'm going to fill up the car with gas since
my
you're driving.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love her and I hate
Yeah.
her. Oh, that's great. So why don't you pull a brick for me? And
Is she that bad at doing this?
No, but I just want Jess to surprise everybody. I wanted her to get in the character, and so Jess immediately hops out of the car and it's like, guys, I got this. I'm like, anybody else go in the store?
I'd love to get some craft beer.
You two go into the store and get some beer and stuff.
Yeah, it has to be craft though. I need craft beer.
Yeah, make sure it's craft beer. You guys go do that.
I'm gonna need like a light beer, please. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so
less calories.
okay, so we'll say this. Do you go in the store with them, or you stay in the
Well,
car?
first I'm gonna take a selfie next to that like busted up vehicle so I can post it on Facebook because it's like.
Reception is a little shoddy at this side of the
I'll
woods.
just save the picture. I'll post it later. That's okay.
Perfect. Okay, so draw a brick for me. Let's get started off right. You walk into this convenience store, and they do not have craft beer there. They have Bud Light and Coors Light, and I'm going to stop talking. But that's about it. There's about 1 case of beer left. It's one of those like big, like sort of like 24 packs and stuff like that. There's a guy behind the counter. This is my evil dog. There's a man behind the counter, and he looks at you. He has vest
He
card
says,
on
I
his
expect
face.
you to die.
His vest card on his face, and he says, "Welcome to my convenience store. What would you like to have?" That's not how he sounds.
I was gonna say.
I was about to say, can it? The joke has officially gone to the point where, does the guy sound like that?
He says,
This seems very odd for.
he's
Right?
like,
He's
like
a transplant. He's a German.
He's like, what would you like?
I'm just looking for beer at this point. If you don't have craft beer, I just need beer,
He just points.
and that's all you have. That's not selection of beer.
That's what we got.
All right. So I'll just start moving towards the back and
Sure.
looking at.
There's like
their
1 case
selection.
left.
Okay.
It's like Coors, you know, or no, it's Natty Light.
Okay. So I reluctantly just grab the box and just slowly start lurking towards the cashier.
Okay, there's a guy that comes out of the bathroom and he kind of like wipes his hands on his pants and stuff like that. He heads over to the beer and he goes, he sees you taking the last case of Natty Light, and this dude is messed up. He's got, let's say he's got like one of those sort of cut off shirts, like a little wife beater or something like that. It's stained with various looking stains and stuff like that. He's got a hat on that looks like it's like a camo hat and stuff like that. And it's he's just got various stains, various smells emanating off of this guy. If you want to make a perception check on him, I would let you do that if you want to take a drink or pull a brick, or you can just let him walk right past you.
I think I will. I think I'll go for the chick.
Okay, so take a drink, or yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Drinking a beer seems the right choice for this dude. Okay, so he's walking by, and he's got a pair of keys that you notice are like he keeps flipping them around like this, and you notice a little Ford keychain, and you realize like that busted up truck outside must belong to this guy. So he's flipping these keys back and forth, and he looks at you, and he sees you with a case walking up to the counter. He goes, "Hey, that's my beer."
I got to it first, so...
Oh, God.
you
Well,
know.
I live here, and you don't, so I think you need to leave that case of beer right there.
But I have a girl in the parking lot that needs beer.
Oh,
So...
you got a girl in the parking lot. The guy behind the counter goes, easy, Ed. It's all right. He didn't know. It's fine. I can check in the back, see if I got some more. He's like, oh, you got a girl in the parking lot, huh? Are you going to leave me this beer, or are we going to have a problem?
I'll back down.
You're going to leave the case?
I'll leave the case.
All right, you put the case down, and he walks over to you, and he does one of these, where he like looks at you and stuff like that. Take a drink or pull a brick, see if you flinch from this guy. This is a power move. Now, would you flinch, or would your character flinch?
I think I would probably flinch.
You would flinch. All right, what about Anthony?
No, not at all.
All right, so pull a
Not
brick.
at all.
Let's see if you just stand your ground for me real quick. We're doing a trial by fire.
He dies of fright in the convenience store.
Oh my god.
He dies of fright in the convenience store.
That's good. No. He pulls his fist up. Like, he goes hardcore. Put it over the top. He goes hardcore to go like this. He goes like this, and you don't fucking move. And he gets angry that you don't move and brings up the fist and gets, like, close to your face. And you don't fucking move. You just stand there and stare at the fist. And you can tell that this pisses him off more than anything that you could have done in the entire world. And he goes up to the counter and starts paying for his beer. So what do you do?
Dang. Get an idea of where everybody else is, see if anyone with their snacks.
Cool. You walk outside. Who's out by the car and who's doing what?
I'm out chatting up Chelsea.
Okay, and you're
So
guessing.
I'm still at the car.
You hear a tap, like somebody knocking on a window.
On the car that I'm by?
Not on your car. You start looking around and you
Okay.
see that there is a little girl in the back of the truck,
The beat up one?
the beat up one.
Aren't y'all over by it?
Yeah.
No, we're filling up our car.
Because I was
Well,
thinking
you're
like-
No, 'cause
or no,
I'm
oh,
filling-
you were filling up.
I'm
Oh,
filling
sorry.
up
But they're
yours.
engrossed in conversation,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they don't hear this like tap of the little girl knocking on the truck. Let's say she's about 8 years old.
Okay.
And she's smiling, and the minute you catch eyes with her, she gestures you towards the truck.
I 100% go over to it.
Okay, she is smiling at you, and she like points to the door handle.
To let her out?
She's pointing towards the door handle.
What do you need? Do you want me to let you out, or who are you here with? Where's your parents?
And she points inside the store.
Are you supposed to stay in here? Is that what they told you to do? Are you hurt?
She holds out something to you, like she puts it up to the glass, and she goes like this, and it's like a weird little like necklace, like a pendant. And she goes to like go like this, like she wants you to open the door so she can hand it to you.
Are you going to stay in the car? Do you promise? Or do you just want to give me that? Okay. Is it not unlocked from the inside?
Doesn't
You
matter.
don't know. You're not in the car.
You don't know if
I'm
it's
gonna
locked on the
open it.
outside.
You open the door, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Do you want a necklace? You're really pretty."
Thank you. I mean, is it yours?
Yeah,
Did you make it?
I did. and she hands it to you, and it's this really pretty. It looks like an old shoelace or something like that, but it is a covered in dirt, kind of grimy silver moon pendant. And it looks like a full moon pendant, and she's holding it out to you. She's like, I wanted to give it to you because you look like a princess.
That's so nice. Are you sure you don't want to keep it? It's beautiful.
I'm sure this is gonna help you.
Okay.
What the fuck? And that's when what's his name comes walking out of the door.
Ed, you named him Ed.
Ed comes out walking out of the door, and he pulls a gun out from behind.
Can I see that?
You do see that.
All right, I'm going to interpose myself.
Cool. Let's see if you get there in time. You. Oh my god!
What?
You very quickly sort of
was that?
interpose
No, that wasn't
yourself in front of
Was it?
Ed,
Oh.
and just kind of like puff up your shoulders a little bit. And Ed goes, "Who gave you permission to open the door on my car and open the door for my daughter?"
Look. Sorry, go ahead.
You would have interrupted.
Look, bro, we're sorry. We're sorry. We shouldn't have done that.
Are
All
you
right.
out at this point?
Yeah, fine with that.
I get that wasn't cool. All right, that was our bad. We're gonna leave you guys alone.
You hear a weird sound coming from Ed. Who's paying attention?
I'm paying attention.
Are you?
Yep, sure am.
Anybody else can participate in this as well.
I'm probably not.
I literally didn't hear what you just said. What are we paying attention to?
Ed makes
I
a
didn't.
weird noise.
I wasn't paying attention.
Ed sounds like the only way to describe it is Ed sounds like there's a low growl coming from his voice. It's almost like he's like a dog or something like that, and he's just got this weird growl. And little girl in the back seat who you have not met yet goes, "Daddy, no! Daddy, no! Stop it! Not right now!"
All right, I take a step back. And it's like, hey, bro, there's nothing to be.
He
worried
takes the
about.
gun out. He takes the gun out from his side and sort of like puts it in front of you, puts it in front of him, and takes a step towards you. And that's when you hear woo, whoop, whoop, and another car pulls up to the gas station, and it's somebody wearing
Car with a really weird engine.
yeah. This car is messed up. It's a DeLorean. It's like I just got done ramping a T-Rex. Guy steps out. And
It was the Ecto 1.
I know, buddy. It's
It's not a DeLorean.
I know.
Stop.
I know, baby. You're gonna die so hard. Guy gets out of the car. He's not wearing a police officer's uniform, and you actually notice that he is actually not in a police car, but it definitely has sirens. It's a plain-looking car. Looks like an old, actually looks like an old Caddy. But it's got one red siren on the top of it. He's actually wearing a ranger's outfit and like a park ranger. He's got the brown hat that he's carrying with, and he goes, "Hey, is there a problem here?"
No, officer. We're fine. We are very sorry. We didn't mean to. Our friend here, she's a little dumb, and she opened this guy's car, and we didn't mean to. So we'll go ahead and mind our business. We did not mean to interpose ourselves into your guys' lives. We'll go ahead and leave if that's okay.
He walks up to Ed and goes, "Ed, is this true?" And Ed looks at you and looks at you and then makes a deliberate move to look straight at you, look you up and down, and look back at you who's outside. And he goes like this. No, there's no problem here. It was a simple misunderstanding.
There you go. Thank you very much, sir, for your understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ed gets in the car, and you notice something really weird when that car drives away. Who's paying attention?
I feel like all of us are at
Yeah.
this point.
Are you? There's somebody missing from the back of the car.
He's not there.
Amy's not there in the back of the car anymore.
Wait, did we see her?
I did.
She
I was
saw her.
talking
You guys
to
all
her.
saw the little girl.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
this
you
was
saw
where
her.
all this all started. You
Okay.
heard her
Start going
talking.
back.
Okay.
But when this truck takes off, for some reason, her head is not poked up. She's either laying down or she's not in the car anymore. She's gone. Okay? The ranger comes over to y'all and says, I'm really sorry about that, folks. You guys must be, Jess?
Yeah.
Oh my God, little Jess.
Yeah.
How are you? Oh my,
Good.
it's been a while. You sitting here with the.
Oh yeah, my friends and I, we just wanted to come up to the cabin.
Hey,
we haven't been in a while.
Yeah,
so.
I apologize. I'm Rick. I knew Jess when she was yay high and stuff like that. But welcome. I'm sorry about this. Welcome to Kepler. The cabin is really nice. Please enjoy yourselves. Reception is shoddy, but the phone up at the cabin should still work. If y'all have any issues, I'm actually gonna. And he watches the truck sort of take off, and he goes, "I'm actually gonna give y'all my card. Who's holding on to this?
I'll take it.
If anything weird happens, why don't y'all give me a call?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sir.
Some of the people who live here in town, like they get a little ramped up and riled up, and they get a little bored, and they don't know where to put that energy out at.
So this is a whole area full of knuckle draggers.
Well,
And
What does that mean?
I'm
You
sorry.
Neanderthals,
no, no.
look,
absolutely
Anthony.
not.
All right, look. All right, we also shouldn't be poking our heads into other people's cars.
She didn't put her head in the car.
No,
It was more of like it was a mess rather than a car. Like if you call it anything.
it's fine. I mean, we won't cause any more trouble while we're here. I mean,
Really, that dude shouldn't be leaving his kid in that hot car without cracking the window.
Scott, it's fine. Listen, if we need your help, we will definitely call you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that I actually got to see you. It's been way too long.
It has been. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure the knuckle draggers don't mess with y'all that live here in town.
That's great.
Just give me a call,
All right, what's his name?
Rick.
Rick.
Rick. All right, thanks, Officer Rick. We appreciate it.
Just park ranger, not an officer of the law.
Sorry about that.
It's
Ranger,
all right.
Ranger Rick.
Right.
Honestly, Scott wouldn't know the difference.
Rick gets in his car and sort of drives off, and he looks like he's going the same direction that you guys would be heading towards the cabin, and then the car stops for a second, and then it flips around and sort of goes off in the direction that the truck went.
Anthony, why the fuck did you have to say that to him?
Listen, like
You insulted him.
The
He might not
guy-
help us later.
Look, guys.
Ranger Rick will come when we need him. Like he's got the car,
Look,
but we're fine.
All right, we've got
We're
the
fine.
number. Besides, he's an old friend of yours. It doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about that guy again. All right?
Guys, can we stop arguing about unimportant things? Where is the beer?
Let's.
Listen, okay, some
You had one job, and
Some
it was to go
caveman
get
walked
beer.
out of the bathroom with just what looked like yesterday's ketchup stains. What'd you want me to do?
What does that have to do with beer?
You know what? I'm not
Guys,
gonna-
we
I'm not
brought
gonna
we
talk.
brought enough
Whatever.
beer, and honestly, it'd be better than the shit that they have here. Let's just go down to the cabin. We'll have some fun. All right?
Actually, the beer's there.
Oh, he left it.
It's in a bag. It's just right there, right outside the door, right where he kind of put it down and pulled his gun. He left it there.
Don't mind if I do. Just
How many
don't mind.
beers is it?
24 pack.
Jesus.
You think that's gonna be enough?
I'll make the drive there.
What the hell are you doing? You stealing?
It was left in the bag. He's clearly gone. He's not going to come back for. I said we better get going while we have
Just
this
take
out.
the beer.
Yeah, like come on.
All right, whatever, let's go.
Somebody's gonna drink it. It might
Let's
as well
go. I am driving with or without you.
You pick up the bag. The lights in the convenience store shut off. The guy standing at the door, he flips the sign to closed, and he looks down at your hand, picking up the bag, looks back up at you, pulls a cell phone out,
Son of a bitch.
and walks behind the counter.
You coming or not?
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's talk about the cabin. You guys crack open a couple of road beers. I like this sort of character-wise. Like the two of them are sort of drinking road beers and stuff like that. You guys are
Beer. Road beers.
road beers. Cheers. You guys are both drinking a little bit. You get to this cabin, and it is so disrupting because it's so almost anachronistic to the surroundings that you're in. This place is choice. Like, this is something you might see during like an MTV Cribs, like, welcome to my cabin. Like, it's just, and it's in the middle of Kepler, West Virginia. So you're there, and there's a jacuzzi. There is like a 3-car garage. It's 2 stories tall. Like, this thing is choice. There's a huge ass security gate that is blocking the way with a numeric code. You type in the numeric code, you open the gate, and there's a swimming pool, there's a tennis court. Like, this place is the nicest cabin you've ever been to, and it looks like it does not belong here.
What's the weather like?
Weather's gorgeous. We'll say it's about 2 p.m. at the moment.
All right.
Like, you guys made it there with plenty of time. You kind of drove through the night. Things get unpacked. What else is at the log cabin?
Is already there, or that we brought?
What else is at the log cabin?
Oh, all sorts of cool shit.
Give me one thing that's at the cabin.
There is. Oh, jeez.
Give me something cool. Maybe something weird.
I can't think of anything. I literally can't think of anything.
What else is at
I'm
the log
broken.
cabin?
There is
I'm
a
broken,
full
guys.
plate armor statue.
There
Yes.
you go. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
you're walking
that.
through the
There's
door.
that.
Right as you walk in through the door, and it's got the family crest. It's got your family crest in there. Like, you guys you actually bought this from Scotland in order to put it at the log cabin and stuff like that. What else is kind of weird about this cabin? It doesn't have to be right in. Maybe when you're like looking in the rooms and stuff, how do the rooms look?
Well, one of the rooms has that like gorgeous little canopy thing, but it's awesome because over in the corner there's like a treadmill and a weight set, so that I can do my like morning workouts.
Home
and stuff.
gym built into the room, and you immediately claim that room because it's vacation, but you still need to keep your body like nice and tight and stuff like that. What's also cool about this cabin?
Weird thing about in one of the rooms, in like the center of one of the rooms, there's
Okay.
a pedestal and there's like pictures on the wall and stuff. But in the center of the room, it seems to be a smaller scale model of the cabin we're in.
Perfect. Yep. Why not? It's actually, this was the humble beginnings of the cabin. That they made a miniature model. And what's the other last odd thing about this sort of like cabin setup for you guys?
Can I withhold what I know about the cabin?
Yes. Earmuffs.
There is trapdoors that lead downstairs. There's a third
Yep.
layer.
Perfect. This cabin's a little fucked up.
I really want to know.
But it's very interesting. So you guys all kind of get your spots. You guys hang out for the evening. We'll say you do various activities. People go swimming, go hot tubbing.
Well, I was
you know,
already in
like-
the pool. Like
You're already in the pool.
Hell
Like not
yeah.
even.
within half an hour after I got there, I
You're-
was down like sunbathing in the pool.
Yeah. So everybody kind of like hangs out and drinks and sunbathing.
Beer.
It's the evening. Everybody's chilling. Everybody's relaxed. And we're going to jump right into it. We'll say it's about 7 or 8:15. That's when the storm rolls in. It's not uncommon for it to have these like summer storms. What is uncommon is about 8:30. It starts picking up real bad. Like you're hearing lightning and stuff like that, and it looks like it's hitting close. You guys are all kind of like huddled together and you know wrapped in blankets and drinking. And about 8:30, there's a really big like and and
That was very funny.
Scare the cat.
and
That was across the room.
lightning hits the house.
Oh shit.
And the power goes out. And it sucks. Because all of a sudden, like this
not good.
gorgeous house with all of these rooms, all the power is gone out of the house. So I need to know what's happening next.
I need to go find the fuse so that we're safe because the perimeter is going to be unlocked.
You realize that in terms of like a power outage,
Right.
that security gate just kind of opens automatically in
Right.
case there's an emergency and stuff like that. So
So I need to head down to the basement to find a fuse
cool.
to go fix it.
Is anybody going with you?
I'll go.
Okay, so the two of them leave. You guys, I
Oh
imagine.
my gosh, are there like lanterns or something? We could tell ghost stories, and we could like I don't
Yeah,
know.
you want to take a
like-
drink?
like
See if you
some
can.
candles?
You
Yeah.
want to take a drink? See if you can find a lantern.
Oh my gosh.
So you. So you look.
We're not at intermission yet.
There's no lantern, but there's a fireplace, and there's already wood sort of preset and stuff like that.
Fireplaces.
And there's actually a little note that she left for you. Be like, hey, in case the power goes out, just light this. I already started a fire right when we got in.
Smiley
love you
face.
guys. Smiley face. And you're like,
Heart.
God, she thinks of everything. There's like a one of those like fire lighting sticks, like
Yeah.
P.S. Like I bought this, at that one Walmart just in case the fire, needed to start. So like, she's like, oh my God, she's great.
Hypothetically.
So you guys start this fire.
Well, he does. I'm useless with stuff like that.
I can totally do it.
Thanks.
My dad taught me when I was in Japan. Like I can.
Oh my.
You head to the fuse box. Where is the fuse box?
It's downstairs in the basement.
Downstairs in the basement.
Right.
You head to the basement, and I will say the two of you are in the living room when the fire is going. The two of you are in the basement, and you are just about to the fuse box when you hear.
Well, we don't hear that. We wouldn't, right?
No, just these two.
Yeah.
Oh, they hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, stop. That's stupid.
Is this creaking? Is what's happening?
It's them knocking. They're just trying to scare us. It's dumb.
This
Guys,
perfect trying to
stop.
play the worst prank.
So I go over to where I hear the knocking, and I knock back on the wall.
Oh, the front door.
Yeah.
That's not where we left.
Where do you knock?
Wherever I hear the knocking
what do you
coming
knock?
from.
You just do like two.
The same pattern that they just knocked.
Did you lock the door when you came in?
Yes.
The door knob jiggles.
I jiggle it back. But not to, open it. Just,
It's like, haha, yeah.
totally them.
Piece of paper gets slipped underneath the door.
Ooh, I pick it up and read it.
It is a white piece of paper written in blue crayon, and it just says "run."
Oh my gosh, they're so trying to scare us right now. Look at that.
Clearly, worst joke ever.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to have 4 more beers to fall for that.
Let's go to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
This is great because your
Let's
two
all go
characters
to the
would not. This is
basement.
exactly how they would
Let's
handle
all
this.
go to the basement.
You head down to the basement, and this is actually you kind of have to fill him in on the secret that
Right.
there's a third, or that there is an
Yeah.
area of the house that it's a storage area.
Is it a fuck
So-
dungeon?
You have to
I
tell
don't
me if
know.
it-
I don't know what my parents did down here, but
Hey,
there's.
look. So
So we go. Hold on.
also it's dark, and you're a girl. I'm a guy. It's a
You
fuck
don't. We're not
dungeon.
even down there yet. Just give me a second. So right beneath the stairs, there's a small bookshelf, and if you move a statue in the right way, there's a door that opens up.
Your dad was huge into sort of those old
Yeah.
he was huge in the 1966 Batman, so it's actually the Shakespearean
Yeah.
bust
That's
that you like.
so good.
So you do that, and the door opens.
Door opens, and we go down to.
What the fuck? That was so cool.
Here's something odd. Who notices?
Me.
Probably her. Yeah.
Normally, it takes a second for the door to open. There is no dust where this is. There's no it looks like this thing was used recently enough, and your parents have not been here for quite some time.
Okay. We still have to go.
Okay, you head down
Yeah.
the stairs. There are sort of hallways and closets,
Yeah.
I imagine, down there. And it's this weird sort of labyrinth, for lack of a better word, of interconnecting tunnels and sort of underground basement to sort of hallways and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that some of the doors that are usually open that are usually closed. Some of them are partially open as you head down the stairs. I imagine you're using your cell phones
Yeah,
as
cell
a
phone for
light
light.
and stuff like that.
So which of these is the fuck dungeon?
Scott, there's not a fuck dungeon down.
Sure, there's not.
So it's going to be all the way down at the very end of the hallway
Cool.
to the right.
Okay.
So we have to pass the doors.
You're passing the doors. Are you going inside any of them?
No, I'm going to push them closed.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna pull them closed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
I kind of want to open
I'm
some and
leading
peek
you.
in.
I'm leading you though.
Yeah, you're.
give me a
we're
number.
in the hallway.
Give me a number 1 through 6.
1
3.
through 6,
Oh, for him. Sorry.
4.
So about the 4th door, she closes it. She's closing doors as she goes. You open the door, and
Oh my gosh, is this?
you see an old mattress and junk food wrappers all over the floor. She's already walked past you at this point, but all you see is junk food wrappers all over the floor, and an old ratty mattress.
Jess, your parents' fuck dungeon sucks.
What are you talking about?
Look, someone was like sneaking down here to eat food.
My parents haven't been here in 4 years.
That's when you hear the gunshot. Let's go back upstairs. Okay, you guys are all laughing. You're standing by the front door and stuff like that, and you're like, "Oh, this is a big deal. They're trying to scare us and stuff like that." And you're like, "Man, it's kind of getting hot in here. Let me take off some clothes." I was like, "Sometimes when I get scared, I take my shirt off." I was like, "You're laughing at the note. You hear what sounds like little footsteps running away from the door, and larger footsteps walking up towards the door and trying to open it." And then you hear somebody say, "Shit!" And you hear the sound of and it sounds like a shotgun being primed.
That might not be them.
Minute you say that might not be them, you hear a boom boom, and the front of the door gets shot open. Let's see if you pull her back in time, because you guys are just
No, I ran behind him.
You ran behind him?
I was gonna say, I was gonna push you in front.
Let's so you're trying to push her in front, and you're trying to contested.
Ooh.
Alright.
Oh, you said it first, so go ahead.
Okay.
I'll do second.
How many? Oh my Jesus Christ.
No, we're gonna.
All right.
Yeah, you can.
Wait,
that
no. Does that one count? Because it's got to be 3 fold down.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
Three
It does have to be
full.
3 full levels
3
down.
full.
Oh, wait, okay. Alright, let's go. Mother of God.
Sorry.
You do know that you can't
Perfect.
abandon pools, right?
You can abandon a
you
pole.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's
That's
fine.
all right.
You're good. That was a good one.
That's good.
That's
So
good. That was a good pull.
That's good. So he pushes you immediately to the front, and as he pushes you to the front, you immediately kind of do this weird, like, "Oh my god, I don't want to go to the front," and you try to step backwards as he's pushing you forward, and the two of you sort of like fall backwards. And when you fall backwards, you both hit the floor, and that's when the gunshot blast happens, and you feel like it looks like a change in like air pressure almost as the doorknob and a portion of the door gets shot off, and a man steps into the hallway, and he looks very, very familiar to you. And his name is Ed, and it's the same man you saw from the convenience store. And he goes, "Well, motherfuck, look at this pleasant surprise." And as he does, he cocks the shotgun again and goes over, and as he stares at the two of you, he kind of just starts slowly closing the door. And as he does that, a little foot sticks into the doorway. She goes, "Daddy, no, we gotta go. We gotta go. We didn't know there'd be people here, Daddy. We gotta leave now." And he goes, "Shut up. Get back in the car." And he does that growling thing again, where he just kind of gets guttural in his throat, and this little girl sort of like very quietly kind of backs out of the doorway, and she looks at the two of you and she says, "Sorry." Slam. So now you have Ed standing there looking at y'all with the shotgun, and the two of you are laying on the ground. What's happening?
Can I be a little bit confrontational?
Absolutely, you can get a little.
Yeah, you were the
confrontation.
confrontational one.
So you jump up.
Listen, if this is for the piss water that was left in the parking lot, you can have it, man. If that's what this is all about, you can have it. You can have it.
Tim, I'm gonna need you to get me a beer, please. You got a drink? The piss water in the parking lot. Thank you, Tim. He primes his. Hang on.
Oh no.
That's about
That's
there.
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. He primes his shotgun, and he goes, "Oh, you want to talk about piss water? You thought I was here for the piss water? Boy, I ain't here for no piss water. I'm here to teach y'all a lesson, because y'all don't know half the shit y'all think you do know." And he takes the shotgun and he flips the safety on and puts it down on the ground. And he takes a shirt He got an overshirt on now that he didn't have before, flannel. He rolls it up a little bit. His belly's still out with the little white stain thing. And he's like, and if I can't teach y'all a lesson with a gun, I sure as hell can teach y'all a lesson with my fist. So right now, you and Ed are going to fight, okay? Whoever loses this fight is going to have a severe disadvantage, okay?
Right.
If you win this fight, I'll give you an advantage in the game where you can skip a pull at any time you want, okay?
Right.
One time only. If I win this, for every pull that you make, you're going to have to do 2. So for every drink, you're going to have to do that. Now, if you want to, you can skip this fight right now. You can appease and go, mea culpa, I'm sorry. But if you fight him, that's the risk versus reward. So what are you doing?
It's your call, man.
You know, I feel like this guy's not going to back down.
Okay, so on the count of 3, whoever finishes their beer wins the fight. Are you ready? Ed looks at you, he looks at you, and he says, you sit the fuck down. And as he says that, he kind of looks at you, and he goes, all right, City Slicker, show me what you got. He comes forward to you, and you do this. You kind of shift your head to the left, and you watch the punch as it kind of goes by. What Ed doesn't know is, like, he's already been drinking a few tonight. So when he goes to punch, you just kind of watch the punch go by.
But you still got a little bit, like, because
You-
it was all foam.
You take it and you flip his arm behind him and do a little move, and you go, "How look? You want to see him dance?" And you make Ed sort of walk around the room a little bit, and you push Ed towards the door, and Ed is fucking pissed. He immediately picks up the shotgun because you pushed him towards the door. Pumps the shotgun, and it's at that moment a large hand rips through the door, clamps down on Ed's hand, and he goes, "Oh, fuck!" And he gets ripped out through the door, getting cut up on the glass on the way out. And when that happens, you hear somebody outside screaming. And it sounds like a feminine voice. Let's go back to the basement. So right now, you guys have heard the gunshot, okay? And that gunshot is the initial gunshot.
Okay. Yeah, finish your.
That gunshot was the initial gunshot.
Right.
So I need to know what's happening right now.
The hell was that?
It sounded like we need to go back up and make sure that they're okay.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
You guys run upstairs, and as you're running, you're going past the doors and stuff like that. One of the doors, right as you reach the steps, we'll say the door closest to you on the right-hand side, opens up a little bit.
Nope, still going up.
By itself?
I continue going straight up. I don't feel like I would do this.
I'm gonna look in the door.
Perfect. You go running up the steps, and you are more concerned about your friends than
Yeah.
you are about these doors.
100%.
So much so that you run upstairs and you press the button, and you are on autopilot. As you press the button, the bookcase slides back, just as you're opening the door. And as you open the door, you see what looks to be a older woman. She's in her 60s or 70s. She is wearing sort of ratty clothes and stuff like that. It looks like secondhand clothes. And the minute she sees you, she sort of backs away and she holds up a little like knife, like this.
Whoa, man. Whoa, that's not necessary. I don't mean you any harm.
We don't want no trouble.
That's fine. I'm not gonna give you
We
any.
don't want no trouble. We just need a safe place to go. We didn't have anywhere to go. They run everything else.
Who's they?
Please don't hurt us.
No, I'm not gonna hurt you. I don't have any
Please.
weapons or anything. I'm good. I've got a phone. It's got a light. That's all.
Just leave me alone.
I'm gonna leave you alone. I just want to know a little bit. That's all.
She cocks her head and looks up and she goes, "Oh my God. Oh God, it's too late." And she takes this knife, and in one of the most badass moves you've ever seen, she puts the knife in her mouth,
Fuck.
reaches up, grabs a latch, pulls open
Okay,
a latch.
like this, not like that.
No.
I was about to be.
No, puts the knife in her
glass
mouth,
of
almost like John
smiles.
McClane, like bites down, climbs up through this little hatch in the ceiling, pulls the latch up after her, and it shuts.
You're fucking.
The fuck, lady? Can I try to like open it again?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'm gonna try to open it again.
Okay. You realize that she did not have a lot of time to lock this, so she's off on a run, and you open up a latch and you are in one of the bedrooms. You're actually in the bedroom that has all the exercise equipment to it, and it's opened up into the closet in the room.
In the very first moment, I think, is this the fuck pattern? No, it's not the
And you realize that somebody designed this house to have trap doors around the house that lead to the basement.
There's a fuck dungeon somewhere in this
Oh
house.
my god.
But right now, I'm going to follow that lady.
Let's go back to you. You walk into the living room and you see this fight, sort of him parading around the room and sort of pushing forward just as that claw reaches in and sort of grabs it and pulls him out, and you hear the scream coming from outside. And you see the two of them sort of cower, like him standing up, her still on the ground.
Are you guys okay?
What the fuck?
Are you guys okay?
Yes? No. Yes. No. No.
Are you hurt?
There's something.
Okay, no. What the hell was
Are you
was
hurt?
this? No.
No?
No, but I'm very upset.
The phone starts ringing in the kitchen.
I go run to it.
Yeah. Hello? Who is this?
It's Jesse.
Jess, it's Rick. Are you guys okay?
I think so.
Shit, did they get in the house?
Yes, they've been here.
All right, stay put. Do not leave the house. They're going to try to get you.
Fuck.
The phone.
Who's that?
Phone line's cut.
Rick was trying to call us and telling us to stay put, not to go anywhere.
Something got in the house, so I'm not sure why we should be staying here in the first place. I'm thinking we should go get in the car and drive back.
No, absolutely not. We need to stay like Rick said. If we leave, like what the hell was that? That
Kitchen
pulled-
door. Dun, 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 dun.
Not it.
Dun, 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 dun. Hello? Hello, princess? Dun, 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 dun,
Amy?
dun. Can you let me in? There's something out here. Dun,
I
dun,
run
dun,
and
dun,
open
dun,
the
dun, dun, dun. You open the door and Amy comes running into the room and she like closes the door behind you and says, "He's outside. He's outside.
Who's
It's
outside,
it's like a big thing and it's got like teeth and it's got like these claws and then
Okay.
it's
no,
like
no, no,
Take
it's
a breath.
okay, It's okay.
boom! Boom! Something shoulders against the door. Boom! And she just runs behind. She just runs behind you and like instinctively hides behind you. And as something shoulders against the door, you see something against the glass, and it is a lupine look. It's got the face of a wolf, but the distortions are all off. It's almost like somebody took a picture of a wolf and stretched it out. And the only thing human about this, the jaws are disproportionate. The teeth are numerous. The only human thing about this is the height and the eyes. The eyes are a pale green color, and they are human eyes. And you swear, if it was possible to see it smile, the wolf smiles. And it looks at you, and it looks at you, and it looks at you, and looks behind you,
Doesn't look at me.
and it goes, and it's gone.
Four against one.
The hell was that?
I do. Oh my god! So it's like nowhere to be seen outside at all. It's fuck.
I think we should gather supplies for just sharp whatever the hell knife something and just.
A car pulls up and you hear it pull up and you hear it screech and you see the red reflective light coming in from outside. It's at this point that he kind of comes wandering down the stairs and joins all of you in the kitchen. And as the red light sort of like, you can see it sort of outside
okay.
coming through the hole and stuff, you hear Rick say, "All right, put your hands on your head and don't," and you hear this loud growl and you hear boom, 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 boom. And something hits the ground. And a large, looming steps come up to the door. And Rick yells out, "Is everybody okay?"
We're fine.
And he opens the door, and he's got a gun in his hand, and it's almost like it's still smoking. And he's like, "There was some large wolf or something out there. Like, it looked like it was trying to get in the house. Y'all are okay?"
Yeah, can you get us out of here?
Yeah, I got a car. Like, I need everybody in the car right now.
Yeah, I go.
You go?
Yeah.
Run with Ranger Rick.
You go?
I'm in.
You go? You go? The car's moving, and as you're walking out towards
have
the car, no, you don't.
She's not there anymore?
She doesn't want to
Then
go.
where the fuck's the girl then?
Well, she's still there. She doesn't
She's
want to
staying
go.
in the kitchen.
Amy, why don't you want to go with me?
She's trembling.
Amy, would it make you feel better if I gave you back the necklace that you gave me? Would that make you feel safe? Yeah? Okay, here, take it back. Put it on. And I'll be with you, okay? You want to go together with me?
She takes off running.
I'll follow her.
She runs outside.
Yeah, I'll follow her.
Rick's like, we have to go now. Get in the car.
I follow him.
This is bullshit. I'm getting in the car.
I get in
fine.
the car.
Yeah.
You get in the car? It's like, okay, stay in the car. Do not move. Stay in the car. And he gets y'all in the car, gets up, and takes off running. And he goes, listen, she lives she lives here in the woods. Like, listen, y'all, I know you are trying to protect this girl, but she's wild, she's feral. Like, her.
What do you mean she's feral? She's a child.
I understand that, but there are some other things out here that we do not want to tango with.
Exactly. We're trying to save her from that.
She's the one who's been trying to help us with all of this.
She turns
Yes.
around, she stops running, and she comes back and takes some steps forward. And Rick's like, look, she stopped. Can we go?
Amy, come on. Come with us.
Amy walks right past y'all. And she goes and she stands in front of you. And she looks over at Rick and she goes, no!
No, Amy, Rick is nice. Rick is the guy that's trying to get us out.
She goes, no!
Why no?
Amy takes off her necklace. And she throws it at Rick.
Well,
And Rick takes one step back.
Like he's afraid of it?
God damn it. I thought I gathered up all the silver in this godforsaken town.
What's wrong with silver?
That's where we're going to take our intermission, folks. So we're going to take a really quick 5 to 10 minute intermission. People are going to go get some more drinks, going to use the restroom. We have two people that don't know this, but they are locked in the back of a car with the child locks on and no handles on the door.
Because that's where
We have
the arrested people go.
We have two people out in the woods with a little girl that has just thrown the only bit of silver in Kepler, West Virginia, and we have a Ranger Rick with two very beautiful pale green eyes standing right in front of them. So we are going to come right back from intermission and see what happens next. One person's getting out of this alive. We'll see you soon. Who's the cutest girl?
Down.
You're the. Hey, and we're back. Hi, how's it going?
I
Welcome back.
legit kind of wanted you to go, oh!
This is Boo Boo, and Boo Boo is one of our little like unsung mascots. I'm gonna put you down, baby. Okay. There you go. Please don't drink today.
Don't drink my drink.
Welcome
That'd
back,
be
everybody.
hilarious.
Hope you guys had a nice little like break. Want to thank you all for tuning in and telling your friends. As always, please follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. Come and join us in the Discord channel. There's a good chance that one or more of us will be in the Discord voice chat. We gotta get you signed up for that because
Yes.
you're becoming a regular now because you live so close and you're a little storyteller. So let's jump right back into the events. Actually, let's do this. First one to take a brick.
I don't even know what this means. But
This tower's already super shaky.
Frickin' so do you, in football parlance, do you want to receive or do you want to kick off? Who's starting us off?
I'm starting.
Okay, the two of you are in the car, and you realize that there's a bit of a glass sort of like thing in front. John was absolutely right. This is where, like, even though he's a park ranger, like this thing is sort of modded out so that if there's somebody that's drunk and they need to sleep it off, or something like along those lines, like this is sort of the car for that. It's kind of built like a police car, and for some reason the two of you are fairly familiar with police cars. And
gosh, totally.
you've been in one before. So you are there, and two other cars pull up to where you guys are. Very different cars, all sort of old school models of car. There's a Lincoln Continental, and there's another sort of like older car, and it is they pull up and they park alongside the car, and two guys getting out wearing matching ranger uniforms sort of get out, and the two of them take a step forward, and then they stop and they turn back and look at the car that you're in, and they look at each other and they go, and one of them wins and punches the other one in the arm, and he walks over to the car that y'all are in, and he sees y'all and he kind of waves.
Well, first thing I'm doing is I'm making sure all four doors, boom, 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 are locked.
You can't reach the first two.
I can't reach the first two. You can't slide the window aside.
You can slide the window closed.
But it's open.
Yeah, there's like a little like glass.
Can I
It's
slide
like
through into the front seat?
It's
Sure.
I slide into the front seat.
Sure, you can certainly try. As this ranger is sort of walking towards y'all, and he kind of looks at you and he kind of waves at y'all and smiles, he takes his shirt off.
Woo!
Unbuttons it.
Break already.
He,
Real
he,
professional meltdown.
folds it up really nicely and places it on the hood of the car, and he takes his hat off and he places that on the hood of the car, and you can do whatever you'd like. He takes his undershirt off, he folds it up, and he's built. He puts that on the hood of the car. He takes his pants off and he folds them up and puts them on the hood of the car, and that's when the hair all over his body starts growing, and he's still smiling at you guys and waving, and he as he does that, he is subs, thank you so much, and thanks for our new animation right there, sort of a horror handprint animation. Chelsea and Anthony are about to do a showdown. 4 bits each, just the two of them, with
4
Chelsea.
plus 4 is
11.
that many bricks, but less.
Got it. Yeah. All right.
So Chris and Kelly, so here's what's going to happen. As this werewolf, which you now see, this sort of wolf figure, kind of comes over to the car, he pulls open the front door of the car, and he sticks his head inside the car, and he is kind of smelling around, and he is grinning, and there's drool dripping from his mouth. And as he sticks his head inside of the car, he's taking little like snaps and bites at you, and it looks like he's toying with you. Yeah. So Callie, you're gonna go first for me, as he's taking little bites and snips at you guys.
Which windows are down? Are all windows down?
No, he has busted his head through the little middle hole area that you were going to crawl through from the front seat. So the two of you are now in the back seat with its head sticking through. There are no door handles or no sort of locks.
Can I close the window?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
So this will be the first of your...
Okay, here's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
I'm going to try to close the window first.
Okay.
Then I'm going to try, since we're stuck in this, I'm going to try to pull down the seat and see if I can crawl into the trunk so that maybe I can pop the trunk and run out the other way.
Perfect. I love it.
Or at least
Let's
hide
see what you
myself
do
in the trunk.
first.
Okay.
So you go to try
my
to
long-term plan.
close the door, close this little window, and you are able to, like, every time you put your hand up, you feel like this wolf is toying with you, and it's going, and it's trying to take little snips. It's like toying with its prey a little bit. But you decide that every time you put your hand forward, it takes a bite. So you go like, oh, sweet, yoga, Pilates. You lean back in your chair and you kind of do this little seductive pose. And you shoot your foot up and then slam the door shut with your foot. Like that. And it's just enough to kind of snap him out of it. And there's a little, like, it looks like the plastic bends a little bit and it can't get through. It can't get through, and it's trying to stick its head through, and it can't get through.
You're welcome.
So the door is closed. So now this thing has started to claw through the cloth in the seat because it figures that's the best way to get to you. So it's clawing through the seat that's right in front of you. So how are you avoiding this?
So I'll move to the opposite side. Is there any way I can look for something underneath the passenger side seat?
Okay, you flip over to where she's sitting, pick her up, put her on your lap because you do not want this thing to do it. But as you do that, you kind of like, bitch, move, and you like push her out the way and start like. So she's pushed. You're trying to push her towards where this thing is clawing through, and you're looking under the seat for anything that you can find. Okay. Let's see if you find something.
Please God,
Find something. This is the first of your pulls. This is somebody's.
Oh!
Yeah,
That's one each.
I'll say that you find a road flare. And it's old, it's beaten, it's like past its expiration date, but you find a road flare. So you're up.
Okay, I'm trying to pull down the seats to see if there's a passage.
You decide.
The trunk.
Okay, you decide to do one of these. You're like, fuck, it worked the first time. You kind of do like a crab walk, but instead you like put your feet up. You go like this, and you try to like push the seat down from behind you without letting this thing touch you. So you are able to kind of like. It looks like the seat is strapped down, but you manage to push this seat down and start to wiggle your way into the trunk. You manage to figure out that there's a path to the trunk, and you start pushing it open. You manage to get the seat down. But getting into the trunk is going to be a completely different thing. This thing is about clawed through the front seat now, and it's this, and it's like chewing. It's using its mouth to chew through, and it manages to get some of its teeth and its jaws sort of like pressed through. It's almost like a dog trying to chew through like a chew toy. So it gets about there. So what are you doing now?
So can I check the flare to see if it's been used? It's
unused.
Okay, it's unused. Okay. I'm ready to. If it's ready to go, I'm ready to take a shot.
Do it.
All right.
You
at least like in the hole that it's like coming through.
Perfect. As this thing sticks its mouth through, I'll say that you kick off the flare, like you light this flare, and as you light the flare, it kind of like shifts its head out and sticks its eye close to kind of look through, just as you kick this flare off, and it's possible.
That's a no-go. That's a no-go.
You manage to light this thing in the eye, and it sends it reeling backwards. And it screams in pain and sends a howl. And just as it sends a howl and falls out of the car, another ranger comes over. And it's the same one that kind of pulled up before, and it starts looking at him like he's an idiot. Comes over and like takes his hat off and smacks the thing on the ground. And just as it does that, it goes over to where the car door is, to where you're seated, and goes over and puts his hand on the door. What are you doing?
Do I have enough space to get into the trunk?
You're in the trunk.
I'm already in there.
Yeah, you're in the
Okay,
trunk.
then I'm looking. Oh crap.
Hi.
Hi. I'm gonna look for a latch to
Okay.
like be able to release the trunk, but not fully release it open.
Let's see
but
if you
just
find the
know that
latch.
I can get out.
You are moving around, and based on your sorority girl party days, you are used to operating in the dark. So you are moving around fairly deftly and manage to find your way through the dark and find the little latch. And you realize, oh my god, like this is that one time like they hazed me and I had to break my way out of the trunk. Oh, this is cool. Your hand is on the latch. The werewolf is now at your side of the car and it is about to open the door. The flare is still going in your hands. He is still in human form, sort of looking at you. I need to know what's going to happen next. As he puts his hands on the door, you're sort of backed up into the seat, and you've seen her crawl through to where the trunk is.
And the other guy's gone.
The other werewolf is on the ground, still clutching his eye.
Is the hole in the seat big enough that I could reach possibly for something that...
Sure,
Maybe
what do you
I-
find?
In the door of the car in the front seat, there is a knife, a Jim Bowie knife.
Bowie knife, love it. You reach through the hole where this werewolf was chewing through and managed to shrink around, and you got the knife, and you were like, fuck yeah! Like, this is like a movie! And just as you reach to pull it through the hole, the hole's not big enough. So he's got his hand on the door, and he opens the door, and he says, hey boy, it looks like you and I are about to have a little problem, and you cannot get this knife through the hole.
Shit.
Let's see what happens.
How many pulls have you guys done each?
This is his third.
Oh god. Calm, everyone calm. Breathe. It's okay. It'll be okay.
Just a normal day. Just a normal day at the
It'll
office.
be alright, no matter what. Everything will be
Oh,
okay.
yep,
This is insane.
yep.
Because it'll be
Yep.
okay.
Great.
You manage to get this knife through, and you have the wherewithal as you're pulling this knife through. He's opening the door, and you go like, "Fuck!" He's concentrating on me taking the knife, and you take your feet and you kick the door open as he's opening it, and the door smacks and knocks the wind out of him, and you just slam the door shut again and are able to pull that knife through. So you're now in the back seat holding the knife. Trace, I need you to do your last pull as you are in the trunk of the car, and tell me what you are doing.
Okay. At this point, gosh, I can't see what happened on the outside.
No, you cannot.
Okay, before I release the trunk, I'm going to try to peek through so I can see where they are.
Where are you peeking through?
Well, the seat, because I had to pull down the seat.
You're gonna
to get into
stick
the
your
trunk.
head back out of the seat.
Well, 'cause he's not in anymore, right? Or the wolf is not.
The wolf is
the
not
wolf's
in.
head
No.
is not
So
through
you're gonna
anymore.
stick your head through the seat.
Because I'm worried about opening the trunk and getting ambushed from the other side.
So you look through the seat and you see he's standing there with a knife in his hands, and he's just kicked the door open and slammed it back shut. And you see a wolf outside. But the minute you stick your head through, the wolf cocks its head that's laying on the ground holding its eye and looks at you with one eye. And you pull your head back into the trunk.
Okay.
That's all you see.
Crap.
Do your thing.
Okay, I'm going to tell him. Is there enough space for him to crawl into the trunk?
No.
This is a one-man operation.
Okay, then what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to slither out the trunk and under the car.
You're gonna open the trunk.
I'm going to try to open it just enough to slither out and under the car.
Perfect. Yep, that's exactly what you would do.
Yes,
Yep, you
absolutely.
open the trunk of this car and you try to
Right.
open it gently and slither out of the trunk of the car and underneath the car. So as you do that, you throw open the trunk.
She's got an inch of like 6, so.
You throw open the trunk. You realize that that a part of your clothes are getting caught on the like metal of the
Ouch,
car, and
ouch,
it rips strategically, doing that cool Princess Amidala like midriff like cut on your shirt. But you're like, ooh, I could actually be okay with this. And you manage to slither out from the back of the trunk and underneath the
shit.
car itself. So you are there underneath the car. Yeah. Last move for you, please.
All right. So, if I can, I'm looking outside the window to making sure to kind of see if I can keep them in eye shots as far as knowing where they're at.
I'll say this: you notice that when you reach the Bowie knife, you actually notice that the car is still on and the AC is running, and that you could just barely reach the gear shift.
Okay.
But you would still be in the back of the car. Plenty of options.
All right. So, if I can reach the gear shift, I'm going to see if I can put the car. Well, it's not a back window to do much.
Okay.
Can I reach the unlock
Yes.
for the door and try to bail out the other side?
Perfect. Yes, you can.
Okay.
So with your last pull, you realize, oh crap. You actually take the Bowie knife out and put it in your hand and try to use the Bowie knife to reach the unlock button. And as you're reaching forward, you manage to unlock the car doors just a little bit. It's like scraping the top of the button, like you don't know, and you're stretching, you're channeling some sort of like deep inner strength. In order to do that, you are trying your best. I don't know if that's gonna go.
That's fine. That's his choice. He's living his life. Although he might not be for long.
You manage to unlock the car door and slip out unbeknownst. Where are you running towards?
Let's see. How close am I to the house, to the front of the house?
Fairly close. The car was right outside.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to make a dead shot through the front door and
Okay.
see if I can manage to get something bigger.
Perfect. You go running towards the house. You are still underneath the car, and you see a couple of wolf tracks leading up to the car, and you see a pair of feet go running past, and it's like, bye, bitch! Running towards the front. Let's now go back to the woods.
Oh fuck! I still got a whole thing.
Yeah, and so as you go running towards, as we're in the woods, and the Ranger Rick is looking at y'all, he's like, I think we're gonna make this a little interesting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little game. Y'all remember Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, right? So who's ever it, they're gonna be the first person that I kill and eat because I am starved. So let's go. Okay. Eeny.
Before he starts even talking, we're like to that point.
Yeah.
I grab the thing on the floor,
You grab
the necklace.
Meeny, Miny, Mo. Because I don't like silver. And he looks at you and he's like, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10, 9,
While he starts counting,
8,
I'm going to roundhouse kick him in
7.
the face.
You're going to roundhouse
Well,
kick him in the face.
Okay, that's the choice. That's a choice.
7, 6. He grabs your foot
What a bitch!
and slams you on the ground. It's like, not playtime yet for you. 4, 3, 2.
Punch. I'm gonna punch him right in the face.
As you punch, his face transforms and his mouth grows really big and large and opens his mouth as your fist flies towards his face. John, you have been granted a DM's challenge for this evening.
How wonderful!
So I'm going to need you to soak your hand, and in this soaking in ice water is going to represent the chilling hand of fear gripping your hand within its own.
And it has to be my non-dominant hand.
It has
right?
to be your non-dominant
All right.
hand, and the pull needs to be from your non-dominant hand.
All right, I promise. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I am left-handed, so it will be my right
Very
hand.
much. So let's soak this bad boy just as much as you possibly can.
Perfect.
So I will go ahead and
Oh, yeah.
start the timer. Ready. So John, whenever you're ready, in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. As you're doing that, you're.
This is very painful.
Yep.
Oh God!
We actually put salt in this.
God,
so
that hurts. It actually really does.
Yeah.
So we put salt in this to
Okay.
make sure this was super
Okay.
nice and cold. It is at 15 seconds. You have 10 more seconds left to go. It is freezing cold.
Tell us what you
Great
messed up.
job, Brian. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brian, if you would go ahead and start that timer, John, you have 30 seconds to pull that brick. Go ahead.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh no!
You managed, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Oh my god. You pull your fist back.
fucking hell! Oh God, that really hurts.
This thing laughs at you. You are the chosen one.
Oh shit!
Here's what this werewolf did not account for.
I'm wearing a silver ring or
Your
something.
class ring is
Fuck,
silver.
yeah.
And when you punch this thing,
Thank you.
for the first time in a long time,
Next time, can we microwave it?
yeah, you feel like you, pun intended, have the upper hand in this situation. The part of its face, that was looking towards you is now human. It is skin, and it is not wolf anymore. So it is this like pale human skin, and when that happens, a part of it is shocked, and it kind of like staggers back from you, and it pulls back a little more. So it immediately turns and looks at you, who delivered the roundhouse kick. And as it turns and looks at you for the roundhouse kick, it jumps on top of you, and you put one hand up to sort of block it. And as that happens, you realize that the pendant is still close by, and you reach with one hand to grab the pendant, and it's a race to see whether those jaws clamp down on your neck. As we
Who do you want? Who do you want?
subs for a
Tracy.
blindfolded poll.
Why is it always Tracy?
Tracy, you've been
You're the guy.
chosen as the person
Oh,
to
I'm not sure
help.
how much I'm gonna be able to help you with.
Oh,
this.
come on, can't
no,
I?
Go ahead. No, we'll do it. Oh,
Fine.
geez.
Oh wait, can I change my mind?
Yes, you can.
John, help me.
Okay.
Chosen one.
All right. So here's what you're going to do. Are you left-handed or no?
I'm right-handed.
All right, then use your right hand.
That's going to be step one.
All right. What you're going to do is, I want you to lower your hand very gently so you reach the table. Then I want you to walk your fingers over till you get to the tower.
Okay.
All right. There you go, and there you go. Okay. Now you know where the tower is.
Right.
All right. So that's the bottom block.
Yeah.
I want you to go probably about 6 up. All right.
God.
All right. You're going to go a little bit higher. All right. Stop right there. All right. So you're right now. You're on the 6th level, but you're on the left side. I want you to try the one on the right side. A little bit lower. That one. The one that your
This one?
index finger is on. Yeah. See if you can move that at all. Nope. That's not going to move. Okay. So you're going to go up. That one that you feel above it. Try
one?
that. Yeah. All right. Try moving to the side. See if the middle one will go. Nope. That one won't go. Try the left. All right. I feel like. Okay. If you die, will you hold it against me? That wasn't my fault.
Hillary, that was the most badass.
Can I have my drink?
Yes, you may have your
I'll
drink.
also finish that.
Yeah.
In a perfect move, she grabs the moon pendant in time and looks over at you, Scott,
Yeah.
and shoves the moon pendant down the thing's throat.
Oh, fuck!
And as it bites down on her arm, she goes, "Fuck you, Ranger Rick." And this thing clamps down hard on her arm, and there is a burning, smoke-filled, scream as smoke and an ungodly sound escapes from this wolf, and the wolf starts thrashing on the ground. And you're just kind of staring up at this thing, defiant. Like, it's let go, and there is blood sort of like seeping down your arm a little bit.
Oh,
and
no.
it is bad. And as it's looking, you're just looking defiantly at this thing, and the wolf stops moving and just sort of goes back into human form and lays on the ground, staring up at the sky. And you walk over to it, and what do you say? What do you do?
Don't fuck with my family.
Oh.
And you spit on this thing. And you are super hungry.
Oh, fuck.
And the blood is dripping down from your arm, and you kind of look over at him.
Oh, shit.
And you smell and see everything. You look up and you realize your notions of family have changed. You do have a family. There's two of them by the car right there, and there's one non-family that's running in the house and is digging through drawers, and there's one other non-family that's underneath the car, and this one is here, and he is also non-family, but the two other non-family members kind of like go over to you, and they take a step back because you are radiating a sense of perfection and awesomeness, and they don't want to challenge that, and so they look at you for what to do next.
I go chase after him.
Where do you send the other two?
One to him and one into the car.
Perfect. Start drawing bricks, kids. Werewolves. Let's start over at the far left. Timmy, can we have your services again for our new antagonist?
All right, so we just start forward?
You go fuck, and you see as she starts to transform and start making a break and running for the house. Just as you are digging through the kitchen, let's see if you find anything. You're digging through the kitchen. You maybe get to an office study or something like that. Yeah, you do find something. You find a really old musket that this dude has above his study, and and you're like, a musket? What does this do? You are underneath the car, and you are like, I'm safe, and you see something try to rip out from underneath the car, and it starts clawing at it, a la that scene from Jurassic Park. So that's great. You are running through the woods, and she is smiling at you. And
I'm making sure I'm keeping track of Amy as well.
To change is her. Amy is just standing there frozen in fear. So are you swinging back around to go and grab her, running closer to where she is standing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens now. You pull this musket
want me to
off
do
the
another
wall.
one, or-
Nope.
okay, all right.
You pull this musket off the wall just as this thing comes crashing through the door at you. It goes crashing through the door, and it is staring at you. You pull this musket down, and you pull the trigger, and nothing happens.
He's already shaking.
As you pull the trigger, this thing is clawing at the ground. What are you doing right now, Trace?
Me.
This thing is clawing at the ground at you.
So I can only see it from one side, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna try to come out from the other side.
You roll out from the underside
and run.
and you take off running, and you are
I'm
running.
gonna try to run towards a car,
You run towards one of the other cars,
like
and
a car that looks like it might actually be on, so I can just take off and leave everybody.
you run towards a car. There's only one. There's two other cars in the parking lot. You get to the car, you open the door, and the car is not running. Let's see if you run to the other car next. You cycle back around and walk straight towards her, and she is not moving. She is just staring at you, and she knew that you would come back for Amy. So you come and you scoop
Why?
up Amy, and it's when you scoop up the girl and take off running with her in your arms that she gets down on all fours and just
fuck.
stares at you. You have the musket in your hand. It fire, and you realize that you are now weaponless with this thing staring at you, but with the musket still in your hand. You realize that right below the musket is a sword. You reach up and grab the sword in your hands, pull it off of the wall, and take one swing towards this wolf that is standing in the doorway. As you take a swing at this, you may also skip this pull based on your power up from before.
Yeah, you did.
Completely.
You did win a power up.
Dang.
Or you can save it. I need your decision.
You know I'm gonna say I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna take power.
You're gonna use it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you pull the sword off and you cut this thing, and this thing like howls a big scream at you as you chop off what looks to be like one of its claws. Trace, you are in the car. It is not running, but you are still trying to see if the keys are anywhere in the car. You manage to turn the car on, and the car kicks over just as this thing, bam, smacks into the side of it, and the car that has just started goes, "Arr!" and is now on the side with you laying like this up against the door. The car is on its side. You are laying like this as this wolf jumps onto where the passenger door is, opens it up, and you are laying down like this against the window, the side of the car. Let's see what happens next. You are running, Amy in your arms. The wolf is chasing after you, and you realize you are very close to the house.
That's the first time I've died by pulling a bridge.
You are very close to the house, and you realize you are not going to get there in time. So what you do is you take Amy and you go like this. You kind of like pick her up and do a pushing run start to kind of push her forward, just as she starts off on a running course back into the house. You smile at her as you feel two claws dig into your back, and you are terrified. You are screaming at the earth, at God, at anything to stop this pain, and then it is gone. And you are perfect. You
Feel
are
good, guys.
family. You are warm, and you are
I get what
comforted.
you're talking about. It's cool.
And she smiles at you, and it is that same perfect smile for some reason translates, and you would follow her to the ends of the earth and beyond.
But like after this, we're totally stopping by the fucked up.
No, we're not.
And all you realize is that there are two non-family members, and they are really close.
We gotta familiarize these motherfuckers.
So where do the two of you go? Off into the house?
I'm to him.
And where does he go?
He's going to her.
You're going to go help
Two
her
on
buddy.
two in charge.
Okay.
Never mind, I go to her.
Okay. Perfect. You take off running. There is a werewolf. Somebody draw a brick. Cool. That means we start with you, Trace. So we are starting with you. There is a werewolf sort of opens the car door, and you are leaning back against the window of this car. I'm going to need a little bit of clever problem solving for you about how you're going to get out of this situation.
Okay. Is there anything in the car that I can use as a weapon? Like, what kind of car is this?
We'll say this is the Plymouth?
You said a Lincoln.
A Lincoln.
Yeah.
So this is the Lincoln. So it's a sturdy car, very strong. Pull a couple of bricks for me. How about this? Hey, I got a number in my head.
Okay.
If you beat that number, I'll give you something really good.
Okay.
But if you don't, you find nothing.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
1.
Oh, the number was 1.
Really? Already?
I know, this is usually the
Hey,
better
enough
tower.
commentation. I might be drunk.
Commentation, huh?
I need to catch up then.
You're drinking ketchup?
Bricks. 3.
Mother of
Why are you putting yourself in this situation?
This is great.
You better find the fucking
5.
It's kind of like the Blunk thing. Oof.
6. Welcome.
Mother of God.
You gonna die.
Oh,
Someone
God.
go, someone go.
She can stop anytime she wants.
This might be the first one where we all die, we don't see the end because we just die.
We just done did die.
We just died it.
7. That thing is so shaky.
Number was 6. There is a blue duffel bag, and you are scrambling for anything that you can, and you reach into that back seat and you pull that blue duffel bag and you put it in front of you, and this thing stops and backs out of the car.
It's not me.
I want to look in the duffel bag.
It is a candelabra. It is
It's the silver.
It is
thing
a
collecting.
gold sort of lined serving tray. It is a couple of forks. It is a knife. It is a spoon. It's a butter knife. It's a pendant. It's a watch. It's a locket. It's a ring. It's a bunch of random knickknacks in a
I'm
blue
going to
duffel bag.
put on the pendant,
Okay.
because it's silver, right? I'm going to grab a fork
Okay.
and a candelabra.
Perfect. Let's switch back to your scene. As this thing is, you kind of chopped off its hand, and it is grabbing at its hand and stuff like that, and kind of backing up. And as it backs up, it sort of stops and starts sort of like circling you in the room, getting closer to you. Do you counter its movement?
Yes.
It is moving you closer to a sort of large bay window reading nook, and it is just circling the room with you in this little like office. And it stops.
Now, is there something on the shelf, maybe a book or something that I noticed is a little bit off in contrast to the collection?
I have a number in my head.
Oh no!
You got this, man. You got this. Otherwise,
You
it's all
start
three of us
randomly
against her.
pulling books.
That is a shaky tower already, too.
It's your fault.
I know it is.
First book doesn't do anything.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
Second book doesn't do
I
anything.
know what the third book is.
Oh my gosh.
And possibly the fourth.
Yeah, he's got 3 and 4 right there.
Third book doesn't do anything.
That was the second.
That was 2.
Yeah, those 2, but,
Yeah.
but the other 2 are ready to go.
Third book, no bueno. Fourth book doesn't do anything, but you hear glass shatter behind you.
You are not alone.
Fifth book, the bookcase moves.
You're gonna die.
Not me today. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna get you.
Oh my gosh.
Sixth book, the bookcase is still moved from the fifth book. It's still wide open.
Give
You can,
us.
you can stop pulling bricks at any
the
time.
fifth one.
bookcase is
I didn't quite get that.
the bookcase is open.
Good. We're back to pre-intermission.
I'm tearing down the hallway.
You go running off down the hallway, and it is a small sort of hallway. It is one of those things that looks like it was built for a child. It's like a little like play area that gets down, and the sides of the walls are painted. And you realize, oh, she's told you about this. This is a little like reading nook that ends in like a little play forest area. And you get to the end, and it is surrounded by pillows. But you realize it is a chute. It is a tunnel. It is a death chute, because there is one tunnel that leads here, and the only entrance in was through this little bookcase. And the wolf outside shrinks down into human form, and you'd see just 2 legs standing there. And let's go back to you.
Okay, so I've got my fork
Okay.
and my candelabra.
Okay.
And what does my pendant look like?
It is a silver pendant.
Okay.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Okay.
We can switch back and forth between human and wolf.
You certainly can.
All right, I want to switch back into human and call the other guy off.
Okay.
I want to approach her and go, all right, he's gone. We need to go.
But you were
Cool.
just a wolf and
A naked
You
Scot.
didn't see that.
A naked Scot stands in front of you and says, "We gotta go. He just left. We gotta go right now."
Okay, you're naked. But okay. So I get out of the car.
Sorry. So Jess and I, we got to the fuck dungeon.
Yeah,
but it's
you
fine
were-
now.
You were a wolf, and that was scary.
Did she
But
see
Are
that?
you a nice wolf?
Did she see me being a
Did
wolf?
I not see him turn into a wolf? Oh, and I didn't see that, but I saw a wolf outside the car, but it's just him, so it could have been that I didn't necessarily see the transformation.
You're actually
Okay.
seeing a wolf run off in the distance.
Got it, okay.
There you go.
Oh my
he
god,
ran
that
off.
was so scary.
That's fine. Do you have pants for me? Is there any pants?
Yeah,
for me?
hang on, let me just get the pants.
Okay, look, all right. There's no need for an attitude. All right, there's no need for an attitude. Let's go. We gotta go try and save Anthony.
Okay, can you go get some pants? Or
I would love to get some pants. We have a different priority right now.
Where do you lead her?
I'm gonna lead her into the house.
Do you walk in front of her or you walk behind
Do
her?
you want the candelabra? Because you should be safe too.
I'll be fine. They'll see my gargantuan penis and they'll be afraid.
Okay.
I'm not. That's not.
Yeah,
She looks at you and she says, "Is this your other penis?"
One's for showing and one's.
you should probably carry one of these silver things. Do you want the pendant?
I'm fine. Like, we need to move right now. We don't need to talk about.
Okay, your penis is a little distracting right now.
I'm sorry. Just face the other way and I'll be behind you.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay, so I go on ahead
Yeah.
Okay.
and we're going into the house, right?
I follow behind.
Okay, so I will walk back into
Like
the house.
covering my shame.
Cool.
Do you want my shirt? You could just like wrap it around my
Dave,
skirt.
yeah, I would love your shirt.
He.
Oh
Here.
my god.
You take our shirt.
Give it to him so you can wrap it
And
around.
I am now covered.
A pair of two very pale legs are walking back and forth out front. And then you hear talking, and you're back in this little reading nook area, and you have the sword still drawn in your hand, and you are a little bloodied and battered. And you hear Jessica calling you out and saying that they have Chelsea. And if you want to come out, that they can talk this through.
And do I know she is a wolf yet? No. Okay.
Well, like that phrase.
'Cause neither of y'all.
I'm
y'all
curious.
saw.
I'm just curious. The phrasing, is it like we have her or they have her?
We have her.
Oh, so she's speaking for the wolves.
Got you.
So
But
you
don't,
can
But
deduce
you
that
also
much.
don't necessarily know that that's what I mean by that.
Oh,
Because neither of y'all
Right.
saw
we
us change.
protected
Yeah.
her.
So then,
This is good.
I'll run over. I'll run over to her.
Carla, you are all in a study.
Okay.
It is broken. You see a weird form in front of you. You see a naked Scot standing in the room.
I've got her
He has
shirt
my
tied
shirt
around my.
wrapped around his,
His-
penis.
his
you
coat of
see,
penis, got it, yeah.
you see a very naked Jessica, sort of bathed in moonlight, and you see wolves coming in to the room, crawling through the window, coming through the doors of the house, and she is standing there, and all of a sudden he shifts and he is back in wolf form, and Jess is just standing there bathed in moonlight with these wolves all around her, and she looks perfect, and the two of you are standing there in the moonlight with her standing there.
This is an odd time for you to be naked. Just a
Yeah, I
really
already
odd
gave away
time
my
to be naked.
shirt. I can't. I
Wolf
you're
Scott's just like,
stuff,
Jessica hands you a white piece of paper. It is crumbled up, it is bloodstained, and she hands it out to you. She doesn't say anything. Her face is deadpan. There's maybe a slight smile playing at her lips.
And is she still like bleeding from the arm, or is that
No.
okay? She's perfect. Okay. So
The shift back and forth resets everything.
yeah. So I'll just very slowly reach out to grab the piece of paper.
on the piece of paper is written in wonderful green crayon, and it says the word run.
Is there? Okay, so
The wolves are clawing at the ground.
and we're in a
Clawing.
small little nook. Is there anything?
No, you're in the office
Oh,
now.
in the
You
office.
crawled out from the office, and the two of you are standing there, and you show her the piece of paper.
Is-
Oh my gosh, this is like that other note that we got earlier where they put it under the door, but it was in blue crayon and not green crayon. And wow, they have a
Okay,
lot of
I'm gonna need you to
crayons
slow
here. I
down.
haven't
I'm gonna need
seen
you to slow
crayons
down.
Jessica
there.
looks up at a-
this you're not helping.
Jessica
You are
looks
not
up at
helping.
a clock, and you
Okay.
see the hand is almost at 4 a.m. And you look at this, like it's about 10 seconds.
Is there a
until 4
door?
a.m.
Is there any way? Is there like a doorway or something, or a hallway that's behind her that
Sure.
she's blocking?
10,
I'm gonna shove,
9,
like run past her and shove her out of the way and just try to
8,
make it to the other
7,
side.
6. Okay, what are you doing, Trace? 4,
I'm
3,
gonna run out the door.
2, 1. The wolves take off. All of them. And there's more now. There's 12 at least. Half of them go this way, half of them go the other way. And the only one that doesn't move is Jess, who just stands in the moonlight. And a little girl crawls through the broken glass room and grabs a hold of Jess's hand. And she's got what looks to be a fresh bite mark on her arm. And she's holding her hand.
I tried.
So let's draw some bricks, please.
It's just for you alive people.
So this is me running.
This is you running.
This is a
Take a
pleasant.
little drink.
Jess. Jess is standing at the door and very calmly walks towards where you're going. You run out the door, down the stairs, trying to find your way out through a path that you can get to. And you run down the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors on the other side. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. You get to the 5th door and you open it up, and it looks like there's like restraints in the wall. And you go, oh my god, it's a sex dump. And at the minute you say that, 6 wolves just tear in.
Can I be one of them?
You are in there, and all of a sudden you're like tearing in, and
Like, look up and go-
your head looks up, and you don't even say anything. Your head just does the weird like dog, like hawk to the side thing, and then you go back into tearing into her. And as you're running out the door, you are running, and the wolves are chasing after you. And all of a sudden, the clerk from the store walks past you, and with him is 7 or 8 other people. And they're saying, we're here to take back Kepler. And the wolves all stop, and these guys draw their guns, and everybody converges, and you just keep running. And you're running, and you're running, and you're running until you are almost out of breath. And you think every couple of minutes you hear voices behind you, but you push yourself forward until the first glimmering beams of sunlight hit, and your body drops out of sheer exhaustion, and you hit your knees, and you roll on your back, and you're staring up at the sky, and you're beaten, and you're bloody, and you're broken. But you are alive. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dread for this week. We hope you had a good time. Thank you, everybody who donated bits to mess with our players. For the DM challenge, the chosen one is still standing and chugging beers. For our first werewolf, who was perfect in life as much as she is as leading the pack. For Tracy for discovering the sex dungeon. And first-time player, you were the one left standing. So the 3 of you actually won because you decided at the very beginning that this man was going to be the
We
last.
No, hold on.
We took
That makes it
bets.
sound like we stacked the odds.
No, we
we
bet.
literally we did try.
You tried your hardest and you got there.
I
God.
did not plan on knocking that thing over.
Oh my god, I thought you had at least another 4 or 5 polls in there. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, tell your friends, head over to Discord chat. So here's what's happening next week, folks. I got some good news and I got some bad news. The bad news is we are starting 30 minutes later next week. So we are not starting at 9. I'll do some announcements to announce to everybody. We are starting at 9:30 next week. So if you're used to it starting at 9, it's going to be
9:30
9:30
Eastern time.
9:30 Eastern time. The good news is I am swamped this week. I am just literally chock-a-block to the brim with stuff I got to do. So I will not be leading the game. Our favorite producer, Brian, and the only other person who's run a game of Drunken Dread is going to be running the game, and I will be playing for the very first time. I will have my glasses of whiskey. I will have my, hopefully, beer chase off. So I don't even know what the theme is going to be next week. All I know is that I will be playing, and all I can say with a heartfelt love in my heart to all of the viewers out there, to subs, to Fire, to Astro, to everybody that's been tuning in week after week, fucking bring it. Love you.
Is this the point to tell you we're fired? Just before you said that, said I need to earn some bits.
I'm a little scared now. We love you all so much. Thank you for joining us here at the Plastered Dragon. We will see all you Dreadites Saturday. I will see you on the other side of the table. Whew.